Hi, folks. This is Jeanette Mundy here, and I am here with Caroline New. Caroline is a technology leadership coach. Is that right, Caroline? Have I got that
That's right. I
right?
work with technology leaders. That's
So,
an example.
Caroline, yes, she works with technology leaders, and we're here today to talk about the role of authenticity in leadership. So, what we're going to be talking about today is the role of it, why authentic leadership for tech leaders, and how does inauthentic leadership impact tech leaders and even the tech industry. Now, it's a broad topic. We're going to try and keep it as tight as we can. We've got 15 minutes only, so that's what we're doing. We will be no longer than 15 minutes, right, Caroline? We're just going to
Absolutely. And
give
thank
our
you for
best
having
shot.
me. Delightful to be here.
Okay. All right. So, and at the end, we'll let you know where you can find Caroline as well. All right. So, Caroline, first and foremost, what is a tech leader?
Okay, so a tech leader is anyone, a technology leader, anyone who leads a team working in the technology industry. They might be a founder who's working on a software program. They might be a chief information officer or chief technical officer within a larger organization. And they'll be responsible for potentially the infrastructure, the technology infrastructure, the servers, the network, the security of that network and the access to data, the data itself, the software systems that companies operate their software on, and the mobile systems that interact with those, and the cloud. There are so many aspects to technology these days, and of course, artificial intelligence has become a real big buzzword, and that's certainly a way through which many people are accessing technology these days.
Gosh, wow. It sounds like a huge responsibility.
It is, because technology has become the plumbing for our transactions, for our interactions, for our social lives. Social media platforms, that's technology. When we interact with our banks, that's technology. When we pay our bills, when we go to the movies, there's technology involved in that. So technology really does run underneath everything that we do these days. You can't
Okay.
avoid it.
No, it's not to be avoided. It's there in front of us in every aspect of our lives. So let's come back and ground this conversation in this topic of authenticity and how it relates. Why authentic leadership?
Well, to be authentic is to not only understand what reality is and to be willing to go, okay, this is how things are, and to understand that and to take responsibility for how I interact with that. But it's also to be real in sort of expressing who I am and who I am as a leader. So authenticity is incredibly important in technology because I've seen plenty of examples of inauthentic leadership where people are all about themselves and then trying to build their little fiefdom, and gain as much budget or as much as big a team as they can, and create technology for its own sake, rather than creating technology for the benefit of users, for the benefit of the organization, technology that will drive business outcomes, technology that is secure and done with responsibly and with integrity and ethics. This technology is so fundamental to how we live. We need to make sure we're approaching our technology from a place of ethics and integrity and authenticity, so that we are using technology for the good of society, for the good of users, and for the good of our organizations, rather than just technology for its own sake. And I did say, there are technology leaders who, I see doing the wrong thing, plenty of technology leaders doing the right thing, who are professional in their approach and do operate with ethics and integrity. And it's so important.
Okay, so to be professional in your approach means operating with integrity and authenticity within an ethical framework to make sure that we're connected to reality, which means that we're seeing matters as they are.
Yeah.
We're not looking at something
Deluding ourselves.
and we're not putting our blinders on and ignoring something that's over there. We're taking care of all of the implications of what we might be doing.
Yeah, and I love that you used the word implications, because every time we create new technology, there are implications, consequences that we need to consider. Just looking at artificial intelligence, some of the implications of that we're starting to see, the use of image recognition, which is, we know in some regimes is being used to control people, or the use of, image manipulation, which we're seeing is to use to manipulate or bully people,
Mm.
and the creation of using AI to create fake news, to manipulate people or to influence election outcomes, with some major elections happening around the world this year. Yeah, that's a real concern. And they're examples of technology not being used through an authentic leadership lens, but being used to manipulate and control, and for, criminal purposes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, wow. That's, pretty huge worldwide implications when technology is abused. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
incredibly
technology
different.
fundamentally, the reason I work with technology leaders is because often they have great technical skills, but they haven't spent the time to develop their leadership, their communications, their influence. But technology has the potential to solve a lot of the big problems in the world, to address issues around climate change or inequitable access to food, water, information, education. Technology has a role to play. So I'm all about empowering technology leaders to actually play that role, to actually use technology for the good of humanity and for the good of people in developing nations who don't have necessarily the benefits, the opportunities that we have in Australia and in the West.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's interesting because I'm sitting here thinking, oh, you could be scared of technology if there are all these massive implications. But if we can look
Could
at
be.
technology through the lens of what are the possibilities that technology can create, but then also come at it with an ethical frame of mind, something where we know that we're going in and we're looking at the reality of matters around us, we're not ignoring important aspects, then that is kind of what makes an authentic tech leader as opposed to somebody who might be inauthentic.
Yeah, it's about creating workability. It's about creating effective outcomes
Mm.
using, when you're a chief information officer or a CTO, chief technology officer, and you're responsible for a budget, you're responsible for a team of people. It's about using the budget well for the benefit of the organization ethically. It's about ensuring that the security issues are addressed. It's about ensuring that performance and reliability issues are addressed. It's about doing as much as you can with your budget and with your people, and growing your people as a technology leader, growing their skills, their awareness of ethics, their awareness of security, and so forth, using data in ways that are ethical and that respect privacy issues and so forth. And it's a lot to be aware of. It's a lot to cover, but that's what's required of technology leaders today, to be across these issues and to be moving forward in ways that are professional, appropriate, that recognize standards, recognize implications and consequences, and do so in a way that is responsible and authentic.
Okay, so you've worked with lots of tech leaders,
Sure.
and I'm sure there are a broad spectrum of challenges that you've seen that they're faced with when they're not being authentic. Can you just give us one kind of common theme that you see when a tech leader is being inauthentic and how it's impacting them?
And look, as with any leaders, one of the biggest challenges that my clients experience is having those difficult conversations. Because when we're not being authentic, we may hold back. We may go, oh, I don't want to get into a fight. I don't want to, I want them to like me. And we might hold back from actually giving the feedback that we need to give, or holding people accountable when they're not performing the way we need them to. And so a lot of the work I do is really supporting my clients to be expressed, to actually to be assertive, to be confident in those situations where they need to have those difficult conversations. And to be honest, we often hold back because we want people to like us, or we um, are afraid or nervous about how it's going to land. But having those feedback conversations and challenging poor behavior, that's an act of love. That's an act of service to help the other person become the best version of themselves. And so, really helping my clients to be courageous, to know how to have those difficult conversations and to step into them and use them as opportunities to serve their people, to grow their people, to grow their team. That's a courageous leader and an authentic leader.
Oh, amazing. So you've got authenticity. You spoke about authenticity and the two sides of authenticity, and one is being connected to the reality of matters, and one is about you
Yeah, who you are as a leader.
are as a leader and connecting into yourself authentically. Could you say? Because I'm sort of sensing that that aspect of it is as crucial as being connected to the reality of matters around you in terms of the technology that you're that you're influencing. So tell me a bit
Yes.
about how that, yeah.
Okay, so I think I understand what you're saying. I have a client, and I won't identify him, but he, is creating a lot of change in this organization. It's a public entity, and so it serves the wider community. And he's recently noticed some real opportunities to use artificial intelligence and to use their data platforms that they created last year to really change the way their frontline workers are operating and how they can be more efficient, more effective, and deliver outcomes. But in order to get that across the line, in order to get the business to see his vision and to embrace his vision, he's had to have a lot of back-end conversations, a lot of to clarify his vision and then to go and sell it to the organization. And he's had to really get clarity around what the situation is, what the challenges are, put together, a kind of concept for how he can address some of those challenges and what that would look like and what's possible from a technology perspective that would integrate their back-end systems and allow them to create a new front end and all the benefits that they could create with artificial intelligence, and then sell that to the organization. So he's had to really back himself to actually go to his manager and his peers and really start to create this possibility for a project. And he's been successful in doing that, by the way. So now there's a lot of excitement in the organization. It's going to take them probably 18 months to really deliver this completely, but they'll do it over stages, and they'll start to deliver initial stages in the next few months, which will start to, again, change the way their front-end workers operate, saving them time, maximizing their use of resources, saving them money. It's going to have enormous benefits and benefits for their users across the state. So
Wow.
does that,
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful. So by him being connected to who he is and being actually backing himself and recognizing that he does have the knowledge, the skills, and the know-how to actually go in and have these conversations and influence a positive outcome has
yes,
made a difference.
sorry, and also bringing in the expertise from across his team to form
Perfect.
the gap. So it's not about the leader having all the information. It's about the leader bringing together his team in a collaborative way to draw on their knowledge and expertise so
See,
that together they
that
create.
right there is actually a really important distinction. If you're
Yes.
watching right now and you're a tech leader, how empowering is it that you don't actually have to have all the knowledge and information, but you
You
can draw
can't.
on other people? You can't
No,
possibly.
our industry is moving so fast, so
Yeah.
many changes. It's about having a team that reflects the various levels of expertise, the various, specializations, and bringing them together when you're building solutions and even conceptualizing to see what's possible and what technology is available and how can we use it within the organization for the benefit of our users.
Wow, that's incredible. Even in facilitating this conversation, I'm going to declare that I don't know much about technology or the technology industry at all. It's not where I put myself, but I actually really appreciate that I'm talking to you about it, because it's actually opening my eyes and giving me a bit more insight into what some of these implications are, and maybe even to listen out for some of those things in our world.
Absolutely. And you said before, we can be excited about technology or we can be afraid of it. And
Yes.
it is disingenuous, even inauthentic, to be afraid of it. We want to be aware of the potential for misuse, abuse, or lack of control. But we want to be leveraging and taking advantage of the potential opportunities of tech and do it in a way that is responsible, ethical, that really does protect our users, protect the community, and so forth, not have negative implications, but to be aware of those and manage them.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. Now, let me just sum up what we talked about. I'm not going to talk about everything that you said just then, but I'm going to sum it up in this way. We talked about why authentic leadership, and then we talked specifically about why authentic leadership for tech leaders in the tech industry and the importance of that. In fact, we went into that quite a bit. And how does inauthentic leadership impact on tech leaders? That example was just perfect. It was great. So thank you for that. Look, I hope you've enjoyed our conversation today. And if you would like to get in contact with Caroline, you can follow her on LinkedIn, I believe,
Yep,
and
it's Caroline New, N-E-W.
you. And if you are a tech leader out there and you would like to get in touch with Caroline, you can, what would they do? Send you a direct.
Reach out on LinkedIn, or my website is quantumvalues.com. So easy.
Fantastic. Well, I've had a real joy speaking with you about this topic, and yeah, I hope that if you've got any questions, you can reach out to Caroline and she'll give you some
Happy to have a chat. Absolutely.
have a chat with you. Yeah. Is there anything else before we finish that you want to say about this, Caroline?
No, I think we've said the key things. It's about being aware and being really willing to, not feel like you have to do it on your own, not feel like you have to have all the answers, but to draw in the expertise, the different voices, and to be willing to be challenged, to not think, oh, I know, but to be willing to consider other points of view and other perspectives. That always broadens our ability to see clearly, and always then enhances the quality of the decisions that we make.
And that's the essence of an authentic leader.
Very much. Thanks, Janine.
Thanks, Caroline.